As President Biden just said, Donald Trump keeps praising Hannibal Lecter. Donald, Hannibal Lecter is not real, and he is a cannibal. I know that the corporate media wants to normalize Donald Trump's behavior and say there's this new tone, but this is all so weird. The main speaker at the Republican National Convention was former WWE wrestler Hulk Hogan, who went up there and was like, "Oh yeah, this is the Hulkster." What are we talking about? Politics means life or death for people. This isn't some game, despite the way the corporate media wants to perpetuate these narratives. This cosplay fascism has no place in our system. Look, there's no tone change. Here's what Donald Trump was posting this morning. This is what he wrote. "We are under attack from crooked Joe Biden, then in all caps, worst president in the history of the United States," is not caps, "and weak and pathetic man who uses the Justice Department to harass and intimidate his political opponents because he is in no way capable of winning by himself. He's created horrible precedent for the future." He goes on to whine and say, "A complete hoax. They illegally raided my house, Mar-a-Lago. In that one, well, that case was just," and then he's bragging that the judge that he appointed threw out his case on the ground that the special counsel, the position of special counsel, is an unlawful position going against 50 years of precedent because Judge Eileen Cannon doesn't follow the law. And Trump goes, "They threw out in full that case. It was unconstitutional. Others are on weak grounds." And he puts all of that in caps. Then he does a post to fundraise off of Judge Eileen Cannon's unlawful order. And he goes, "The DOJ's document case was just dismissed. Stand with Trump." Let's just be clear about the undisputed facts of that case. Donald Trump stole nuclear codes, stole classified information about codes and weapons and war plans. He brought it to Mar-a-Lago. We're aware of at least 2 incidents where Donald Trump shared that information with people. He shared information that was classified about our nuclear submarine program in Australia with an Australian billionaire who paid $1 million to be at Mar-a-Lago and various parties there. We have Donald Trump on audio also talking about war plans with Mark Meadows' ghostwriter. And Donald Trump's defense wasn't that he didn't do it. At first, remember, Donald Trump's lawyers said that the documents were planted. Remember, that was the first thing. The FBI planted the documents. Then they pivoted and said, the special counsel is unlawful. The position should not exist under the United States Constitution as it relates to Donald Trump. Special counsels in other cases, Hunter Biden case, everything else, all good. As it relates to Donald Trump, unconstitutional. And then Donald Trump also argued that the nuclear codes and war plans were his own personal property, that our nuclear secrets, our classified documents belong to him, he argued, by telepathic declassification and based on an unlawful interpretation of the Presidential Records Act, which says the opposite of what he said. But that's where we're at. Now, Donald Trump has consistently praised Laura Loomer. She's Donald Trump's right hand. She'll probably have a very big position if Donald Trump were to ever disgrace the office again. Laura Loomer's always at Mar-a-Lago. She's at the events. Donald Trump always reposts her stuff. It's frequently reposts. She's one of the most influential people in the MAGA movement. Let me just show you what she just said, and let me just show you some videos of Donald Trump's relationship with her so you know who she is. I think it's important on this video also that we send condolences to the family of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. She passed away on Saturday. She was an advocate for democracy. She was an advocate for the Black community. She was an advocate for women's reproductive rights. She was an important person, an all-around good person. Now, here's what Laura Loomer, who will have a major role in a future Trump administration, if that were to ever happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but if he were to disgrace the office, here's what she said. I just want you to know the type of people who Donald Trump surrounds himself with. She wrote, "Even on her deathbed, this ghetto B word couldn't keep Trump's name out of her disgusting mouth. I'd say rest in peace, but we all know lying Democrats who have destroyed our country are going to hell. Sheila Jackson Lee will be remembered as a destructive force in America and one of the most low IQ members of Congress in the history of our nation. Today she died. Instead of spending her final moments with her family, she was talking S-word about Trump on X and spewing more lies. She won't be missed, but I'm sure she will be voting Democrat this November. Good riddance! Exclamation point. And one of the things that Donald Trump frequently says is that you've been Loomered. You don't want to be Loomered. He goes, you've been Loomered by her. So here's Donald Trump and Laura Loomer at Mar-a-Lago, and he says how important she is for his movement. Play the clip.
Hey everybody, we're here at Bedminster. I'm with the greatest president ever, President Donald Trump, who is killing it right now. There's a new poll out, right? You're crushing it. You're up over 50 points. And it's a beautiful day here. Beautiful club. It's my first time here at Bedminster.
Well, it's great to have you, and you've been really very special. You work hard, and you are a very opinionated lady. I have to tell you that. And in my opinion, I like that.
Well, I appreciate that.
all of your support, and you've been terrific. And everybody appreciates your support.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. It's a pleasure. You're the best. I love you.
I can show you dozens of clips like this, but I'm just going to do one more just so you can see it. Here's Donald Trump praising Laura Loomer at his event. She follows him around to all these events, and he praises her and says how important she is. And I think, look, she could become potentially a press secretary. She could become a cabinet position. She'll have a major role making life or death decisions. Here, play this clip for Americans. Here, play the clip.
A fantastic woman, a true patriot, Laura Loomer. Laura, thank you. Thank you.
Donald Trump also sending congratulations to Peter Navarro, who was convicted of contempt of Congress. Peter Navarro spoke at the Republican National Convention. He was involved in the Green Bay sweep, trying to overthrow the results of the 2020 election. So that's what Donald Trump's been up to. Let me just show you now what President Biden's been posted, just so you could, see the contrast here, because I think it's important. President Biden wrote the following. He goes, "A hard day's work should lead to a fair day's pay. That's why we are extending overtime protections to 1 million workers, making less than $43,888 a year. That means higher paychecks and more time with family for millions of Americans." Bernie Sanders post, "I will do all that I can to see that President Biden's reelected. Why? Despite my disagreements with him, he has been the most effective president in modern history of our country and is the strongest candidate to defeat Donald Trump, a demagogue and a pathological liar." President Biden writes, "I want to ban assault weapons and require universal background checks. Trump promised the NRA that he would do nothing about guns, and he means it." I want to show you this video because it brings me a lot of hope. But why Donald Trump's posting all of those things as the corporate media is pushing their narratives. This is Dr. Zeke Taylor, anesthesiologist, and here he is in Pennsylvania door knocking. And I want to share stories like this with you more frequently, but one of the things that Zeke Taylor, Dr. Taylor says, is that what lots of people are saying when you actually speak to real Americans is that they're sick and tired of the Trump chaos. They want normalcy. All of Trump's all caps posts, the Laura Loomer, the rudeness, the bullying, the idea that Donald Trump says he wants to be a dictator on day one. That turns Americans off. And they recognize that President Biden's been effective, and also he's just been normal. He's gone about his work. And I know that's why one of the reasons the corporate media, they want to chase ratings. But anyway, let me just show you that. Watch this full video. Play the clip.
I just got done knocking 39 doors in Wynwood, Pennsylvania on this much milder day. The majority of the doors were low turnout Democrat and independent voters. And the answers were all the same. They want to elect Joe Biden as the next president of this country and elect more Democrats up and down the ballot. Don't believe me? Take a listen. Hi, my name is Zeke. I'm a doctor out canvassing for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Is this your first election that you're voting in? Okay. So what's driving you out to vote this November?
I don't like Donald Trump, and that's more pressing than me. I think it's just dangerous to have someone like him in office.
Mm-hmm. Aside from Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, think you'll vote for all the other Democrats up and down the ballot?
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely vote Democrat.
And you'll vote for all the Democrats up and down the ballot?
For sure.
You'll be voting for Joe Biden and all the other Democrats?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great.
I hate Trump.
Be voting for Joe Biden and everyone down? Okay.
I'm in favor of the Democrats.
Democrats up and down the ballot?
Yep. Don't get me started on Trump.
That project,
2025?
yeah, I mean, I can't even believe J.D. Vance. I mean, women should stay in a marriage even if it's violent. That is scary. People who are childless should have less votes. What is this, like the 3/5 of a person again?
It's pretty scary. I know.
And this whole Christian nationalist? We are riding with Biden.
It's time to cut through the noise, Pennsylvania. Let's get out the vote.
And now this other voicemail I want to play for you, this went viral. And this was an individual who gave MeidasTouch a call. And, this is just a hardworking American. She was telling me her story. And I asked her if I could share this. And she said I could. And it's gone viral. There's so many people who say, that's channeling the way I feel right now. I want you to watch it. Here, play this clip.
I don't know, Ben, if you got my call, but I love your show. And I just wanted you to tell President Biden, don't give up on us. Please stay in the race. I don't know what's going on with them, but he have passed so many laws. And I'm a church girl too, young lady, and I love your heart, President, and your spirit. We're going to go through rough times, but you're going to be okay and you're going to come out strong. Don't worry about what other people say. We trust you and we believe in you and we love you. Thank you, Ben. If you can give him that message from me, please do. I did say my name was. I live in. I got a little tears in my eyes. Don't let them divide us. Democrats, stop this mess. Stick with the president. Y'all said he passed all this stuff. Now why y'all gonna desert him? Because older people have wisdom, and the man has so much wisdom. Love y'all. Thank you so much.
Very, very powerful stuff right there. I just want to give you some additional data before we go. And this is important data I want you to hear. The first is Trump's Republican National Convention speech numbers have 47% fewer viewers than John McCain's. Let's talk about that. Trump got only about 20 million people watched his Republican National Convention speech. So that's one thing. What I also want to talk about, though, is actual hard data. Now, there's anecdotal data of the hundreds of thousands of stories that are shared with me of hardworking Americans who appreciate the work President Biden's done, and also former mainstream Republicans who have left the party or just not voting Trump because of the extremism. I share those stories all the time, but I get tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of stories like that. But you can say, hey, that's anecdotal. Well, let's talk about empirical and quantitative data, which is, remember, go to the primaries and look at the polling for Donald Trump in the primaries. Donald Trump in almost all states underperformed the polls by 5 to 20%. Now, in Michigan, where Donald Trump was speaking on Saturday, talking about Hannibal Lecter and getting eaten by sharks and electrocution and all of that stuff, Donald Trump underperformed the 538 poll by 15 points. He underperformed by 15 points, 15 points. Just think about that, 15. And President Biden overperformed all expectations in the primaries. And we've seen since the overturning of Roe v. Wade that trend over and over again because Americans recognize that their freedom is on the line. And when they show up on the voting day, and they may not be paying attention now, they know Trump equals chaos, weirdness, threat to our democracy. And they go, President Biden, normal? Sure, he may be old, but with age comes wisdom. And they're going to reflect and say, how's my 401k doing right now? Is it up? Or was it higher on Donald Trump? And sure, Trump and corporate media can go, oh, Donald Trump's taking credit for it. People are smarter than that. People are going to say, Is their current condition right now better than it was under Donald Trump? And the answer is yes, unequivocally. Unequivocally, despite the media when CNN puts things up like this. This was CNN's story yesterday. Trump has long been criticized for his treatment of women, but the ones in his life argue it's different in private. He was found liable for sexual assault, which the judge said was rape. Donald Trump's on audio tape bragging about sexually assaulting women. Donald Trump's on audio tape talking about inspecting naked women without their consent at his beauty pageants. Donald Trump said that Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy who likes women on the younger side. Donald Trump's on tape saying that he wanted to sleep with an 18-year-old woman or a girl. She may have just turned 18. Lindsay Lohan at that time, because of her mental health issues. He said that would make her better. Like we know his treatment of women. Stop the gaslighting corporate media. You know what? Do whatever you want to do. In fact, because more people are just going to subscribe to the MeidasTouch network. We're going to grow bigger than them together. We're going to grow bigger. We're part of this movement together. This is not just some network MeidasTouch. This is a movement that you're helping to build. So thank you for that. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together. 3 million subscribers. I think we can do it soon. Have a wonderful day.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.